I just read from the Facebook page of Adeyanju Deji, a lawyer and social rights activist, and the lawyer to Very Dark Man. I just read from his page now. This is what he has written. Our client at the Very Dark Man has just been arrested by the police on the instruction of CP Igwe for exposing someone who allegedly duped a Nigerian abroad. Instead of the police to arrest the person alleged to have duped someone, they arrested Very Dark Man on allegation of defamation. End of quote. We all know that Deji is the lawyer to Very Dark Man. And this information is obviously not a lie coming from his lawyer. But you see, my problem is Very Dark Man has been arrested several times recently. And no one knows when he's going to be arrested next after he has been released from this one. So whatever the offense is, why don't you charge him to court? In any other country of the world, when a citizen of the country commits an offense or does something that goes against the law, what do? They charge the person to court. So instead of arresting this guy and keeping him in custody for a long period of time, the way they did the other time and so on, you arrest him intermittently. He comes back home, he stays for 1 week, the next week he's taken back to custody and all that. So instead of all that, why don't you charge him to court? I'm talking to the police now. Why don't you charge him to court if you have found anything against him, if he has gone against the grains of the law? I think the proper thing is to charge him to court instead of going to keep him in unlawful custody. Last time he was kept in custody for up to a month. Whereas the laws of this country says when they arrest someone, charge him to court within 24 hours or 48 hours. I don't know the offense he has committed though. I don't know the petition against him. I don't know whether the petition against him is the same as what his lawyer has said. But whatever the petition, before you arrest him, it means that you are convinced as an expert policeman that he has committed something against the law. Then what do? Charge him to court. You see, a situation where citizens are arrested and then locked up in custody forever to satisfy the petitioner, the ego of the petitioner, is a very bad practice in this our country. It's against the law. And policemen, they know this thing. The laws of this country does not allow or authorize anybody to arrest and lock up forever. It's against the law. So, I'm not shooting anybody that has committed an offense. If anybody has committed an offense against the law, let him answer for it. But don't lock him up in the dark cell of the Nigerian policemen. The cell of the Nigerian police, cell in any police station, is the worst place for you to go into. Even my worst enemies, I don't wish them to go to the cell. So it's not a place to keep someone, but above all, what says the law? Because the police is a creation of the law. What says the law? The law says, when you arrest someone upon reasonable suspicion of commission of an offense, charge him to court. So if Very Dark Man has truly done something against the law, charge him to court. Don't keep him in police custody. If he's arrested in Lagos, there are so many courts in Igboshere, and they will open tomorrow being Monday. If he's arrested in Abuja, there are so many courts in Abuja. The courts will open tomorrow. Charge him to court, and charge him not to the magistrate's courts if the offense is not within the powers of the magistrate's court. Charge him to the high court. When that is done, his lawyers will apply for his bail. At least he has not killed anybody. He has not committed kidnapping. He has not committed any of the capital offenses. So every other offense is bailable. So when you charge him to court, the court will certainly grant him bail. And then he will come to court from home. I think it's better that way. It's tidier that way than to keep arresting this guy left, right, and center. It's getting too much, honestly. Yes, Very Dark Man has his demons. No doubt about that. Sometimes You disagree with him on some things, right? But we also agree with him on some things. Society needs people like that too. However you look at it, society needs people that are ready to speak for others. And what I see Very Dark Man do is to speak for people. Yes, people will say he does some, he goes off the tarmac sometimes. He overreacts, he overdoes this and that. But take away all that. This guy is an activist. He's an activist. So he's talking for people. Someone has been duped, and then they go to him, and then he's able to, get money recovered for the person, and all that and all that. And in that process, he builds his content. So he's a social rights activist. And there is no offense in being an activist. Everybody cannot be, but for those that have chosen the path of activism, we shouldn't shut them up completely like that. Society should not clip their lips. Yes, friends of Very Dark Man, like Ade and Ju, they can take him through, certain parameters. Don't go here. Don't encroach into this one. Do like this. Do like that, and so on. But what he's doing in society is something that society needs. Everybody cannot do it. For those that can do it, let society not clip their wings and clip their mouth. So what am I saying in conclusion? Anybody that commits an offense should have a date with the law. I cannot say don't have a date with the law. Okay? But Nigerian policemen, having arrested Very Dark Man, I'm sure it is upon reasonable suspicion of commission of an offense, because that's the only reason why the law would allow you to arrest someone. Having arrested him, please, tomorrow morning, arraign him in court. Hand him over to the court and present your evidence against him. Don't keep him in unlawful custody. And I say this for every citizen of this country. The law does not allow the police to keep anybody in unlawful custody. If you have arrested, pass the person to the court. Take him to the court of law of competent jurisdiction. He who alleges must prove. So prove your case against him. Let the court grant him bail. Hand him over to the court. The court will take better care of him than keeping him in your police station. That's my take on this. And it is very critical that citizens of Nigeria are not locked up in unlawful custody. It's not good. It's against the law of this country. I just hope that the police will behave differently this time around and ensure that the fundamental rights of a citizen of Nigeria is not breached based on an allegation by another. Every allegation has to be proved before the court. If the court comes to the determination that Very Dark Man has committed an offense against the law and the court passes a sentence against Very Dark Man, that's a judicial pronouncement, and nobody can stop judicial pronouncement once the evidence has been laid before the court. But you have to first of all satisfy the court that this guy has committed an offense. Again, charge him to court tomorrow morning. Don't keep him in any illegal custody. Thanks.